Hey everyone, it's Argonath here from The Right Way. New article on protests happening in New Zealand about lockdown and so on, and the police warn people that their prosecution of the organisers are imminent. Now, I've done a previous video where I talked about the hypocrisy of these people who are clamping down on freedom protests, but they didn't do anything or say anything against the protests that happened in 2020, which were in support of the BLM movement. We were still under level 2 lockdown then, even though at the moment Auckland is level 3, so one step higher, but doesn't make any difference. So back then there were over 10,000 people protesting nationwide, and in the current protest there was about 2,000 people protesting. So big difference, but for some reason the police are going to be prosecuting people now, but they didn't prosecute people back in 2020, and I wonder why. Well, I think we know the reason, right? So police warned they'll be taking prosecution action against organisers of yesterday's anti-lockdown protests in the coming days, but have not yet made any arrests. About 2,000 people congregated in the Auckland Domain and about 1,000 at Kensington Park in Whangarei, protesting the government's alert level restrictions in response to the Delta community outbreak. So just remember, back in 2020, June 2020, when it happened, there were over 10,000 people protesting, and many of those didn't wear masks, just like many people at the current protest didn't wear masks. But back then, of course, you can't say anything against the BLM movement, otherwise you'd be called a racist, when in fact, just saying anything against BLM is basically you're always going to be called a racist, because that's all they can do. They can't actually debate anything in a reasonable manner. While those in attendance generally conducted themselves in a calm manner and adhered to the rules around mask wearing and distancing between smaller separate bubbles, the gathering was by its very nature a significant breach of COVID-19 Alert Level 3 requirements, Superintendent Shannon Gray. So was the protest in 2020 for the BLM movement. That was against COVID-19 Alert Level 2 requirements, but they never prosecuted anyone back then. They said they wanted to take an educational approach, so why are you not doing exactly the same thing here, police? Complete hypocrisy. Anyway, I'm not going to go into any more about that because I covered that in a previous video. I've put a link to that video in the description of this video. So if you go to the description of this video, click the show more button, you'll see the link to my previous video when I talked about it, and it just shows you the rank hypocrisy of the people on the left. It's alright for them to do it, but they don't want any other people to do it. Anyway, that's it for this particular video. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, you're welcome to give me a thumbs down. If you have any comments to make about the freedom protests, I am in support of people exercising their right to protest. They should follow the guidelines, because I'm still in favour of that, but they're well within their rights to protest if they wish. And I'm not. I encourage people to get vaccinated, but I'm not for mandated vaccinations. It should be your choice to choose whether you want to get vaccinated or not. Anyway, leave some comments. If you like my content, then please subscribe. It just helps my content to be noticed by the YouTube algorithm. And hopefully I will catch you in the next video.